Ever wondered why some people seem to have their finances all figured out while others constantly struggle? Could it be a series of common financial blunders? Let's dive in. In the world of money management, understanding your finances is essential. It's not just about earning and spending, but also saving, investing, and planning for the future. However, the path to financial literacy is often riddled with pitfalls. Overspending, neglecting savings, or not having a financial roadmap are just some of the blunders that can trap you in a cycle of financial stress. But don't fret. It's never too late to learn about these mistakes and how to avoid them. By recognizing these common missteps, you can start to create healthier financial habits. And remember, financial literacy isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about making informed decisions that can help you achieve your financial goals. Remember, knowledge is the first step toward mastering your money. Meet Sarah, a young professional who's always buying the latest gadgets, and John, a father who spends without keeping track. Sounds familiar? Sarah and John, like many of us, have fallen into the trap of overspending. Sarah, for instance, can't resist the allure of the latest technology. Every time a new smartphone or gadget hits the market, she's first in line. She convinces herself that she needs these items to stay ahead in her career. Yet, despite her hefty salary, she often finds herself strapped for cash at the end of the month. John, on the other hand, is a well-meaning father who wants to provide the best for his family. He's always buying new toys for his kids, splurging on fancy dinners, and taking family trips that are a bit beyond his means. He doesn't keep track of his expenses, and before he knows it, his credit card bills are spiraling out of control. These are classic examples of overspending, a financial blunder that's all too common. It's easy to fall into the habit of spending more than we earn, especially in a world where consumerism is rampant and credit is readily available. But this habit can lead to a cycle of debt and financial stress that's hard to break free from. The solution? Budgeting. It's a word that might make some of you groan, but hear us out. A budget isn't about depriving yourself of the things you enjoy. It's about understanding where your money is going and making conscious decisions about your spending. Think of it as a financial roadmap. It helps you navigate your income and expenses and ensures you're not straying off course. With a budget, Sarah could allocate funds for her tech purchases without jeopardizing her financial stability. John, too, could plan for family treats while keeping his spending in check. So, how do you create a budget? It's simpler than you might think. Start by tracking your income and expenses for a month. Then, categorize your spending and identify areas where you can cut back. Set realistic financial goals and allocate your funds accordingly. A budget isn't about restricting your life, but about controlling your money. Remember, mastering your money starts with understanding it. So let's take control and avoid the tail of overspending. Imagine losing your job suddenly. Scary, right? But what if you had a safety net? Picture it. A financial cushion that could soften the blow of life's unexpected turns. That, my friends, is the magic of an emergency fund. This fund is your financial bodyguard, your rainy day savior. It protects you from the unforeseen, like that sudden job loss, a car breakdown, or an unexpected medical bill. Without an emergency fund, these surprises can push you into debt or worse, financial ruin. So, how do you build this safety net? Start small. Even a tiny amount set aside each month can accumulate over time. Aim to save 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. It may sound like a lot, but remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. An emergency fund isn't just a bank account, it's your peace of mind. It's the confidence that you can face whatever financial curveballs life throws at you. An emergency fund isn't just a bank account, it's peace of mind. Debt can feel like a mountain that's impossible to climb, but what if there was a path to the top? Imagine being in the shoes of Sarah, an average young adult with a heap of student loans, credit card debt, and a car loan. The total balance seemed like an insurmountable peak that she could never scale. But she did, and you can too. How? Let's explore. Firstly, Sarah took a hard look at her debt. She listed out all her debts, noting the balance, interest rate, and minimum payment for each. This gave her a clear picture of her financial obligations. If you're in a similar situation, you might think you're already aware of your debt, but putting it down on paper can be a real eye-opener. Next, Sarah decided on a strategy. She could either focus on paying off the smallest debt first, known as the snowball method, or she could target the debt with the highest interest rate, the avalanche method. Both have their merits, but Sarah chose the avalanche method, aiming to save on interest in the long run. Then, she created a budget, a vital tool for managing debt. She made sure to account for her minimum debt payments, living expenses, and a little extra to put towards the debt she was targeting. It was a tight budget, but it was doable, and it worked. But Sarah didn't stop there. She sought out ways to increase her income. She picked up a part-time job, sold items she no longer needed, and used that extra money to pay down her debt faster. Lastly, Sarah stayed consistent. Paying off debt is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time, patience, and a lot of willpower. There were times when Sarah wanted to give up, when she felt like she was getting nowhere. But she kept going, kept climbing, and eventually she reached the top. Conquering your debt isn't just about numbers, it's about regaining control. It's about freeing yourself from the weight that's been holding you down. Like Sarah, you too can find your path to the top of your debt mountain. It might be steep, it might be challenging, but it's absolutely climbable. And the view from the top, it's worth every step. Ever thought of making your money work for you? It's not as complicated as you think. Investing is an essential part of mastering your money, and it's about time we demystify it. Let's start with the basics. Investing is the act of allocating resources, usually money, with the expectation of generating an income or profit. You're essentially buying assets that you believe will increase in value over time, be it stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, or even a startup business. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The power of compound interest. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering more snow and growing larger as it descends. That's compound interest in action. Your money earns interest, and then that interest earns interest, and so on. Over time, your money grows exponentially, not linearly. Albert Einstein himself is said to have called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. But what about when the market takes a downturn? This is where the principle of diversification comes in. Think of it as not putting all your eggs in one basket. By spreading your investments across a variety of assets, you reduce the risk of any single investment going sour. If one asset class is performing poorly, you're not left high and dry, as your other investments may be doing well. Bear in mind, investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires patience, discipline, and a well-thought-out strategy. And while it involves risks, these can be managed with careful planning and diversification. Remember, the goal of investing is not just to accumulate wealth, but also to protect what you already have. Investing is a journey, not a destination. It's about making informed decisions, taking calculated risks, and being patient. It's about understanding that there will be ups and downs, but in the long run, with a sound strategy, your investments can grow and contribute significantly to your financial security. Investing isn't just about getting rich, it's about securing your financial future. So, why not start today? After all, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Dreaming of a peaceful retirement? It's never too early to start planning. Now, let's talk about the significance of early retirement planning. You see, the sooner you start, the more time you give your money to grow. It's like planting a tree. The earlier you sow the seed, the taller and stronger the tree will be. Now, onto retirement accounts. These are special types of accounts designed to help you save for retirement. They come in different flavors like 401(k)s and IRAs. These aren't just fancy acronyms. They're powerful tools for your financial future. They offer tax advantages that can significantly boost your savings. Think of them as your financial greenhouse, helping your retirement tree grow even faster. But remember, It's not just about picking the right account. It's about regularly feeding it with your savings. Retirement planning isn't just about getting old. It's about living life on your terms. Want to avoid financial blunders? Educate yourself. The road to financial mastery is paved with knowledge. It's not just about earning or saving, but understanding how money works. It's about understanding the difference between good and bad debt, knowing when to save and when to invest, and realizing that a budget isn't a restriction, but a tool for financial freedom. Just as you wouldn't drive without learning the rules of the road, you shouldn't navigate your financial journey without understanding the basics. There's a wealth of resources out there, from books that offer comprehensive insights like Rich Dad, Poor Dad or The Total Money Makeover, to online courses and podcasts that break down complex financial concepts into digestible bits. Remember, it's not a race, but a lifelong journey. Start small, take one step at a time, and gradually you'll build a solid financial foundation. Because financial education isn't just about learning, it's about empowering yourself to make better decisions.